Alright, so we are back with the D&D episode, and if, as you realize from the title, this is not the next Transformers movie. Sadly, Paramount decided they wanted to be mean and start copyright claiming the newer Transformers stuff, so we decided we're not gonna do the well, we may still watch them, and we might do reviews. I'm just going to figure out a different way to do it. So we will have a review. We will do a review, but it will be different than the way we've been doing the reviews. Because I guess, you know, it seems to be a problem with showing the trailer, even though I modify the trailer. So, we're moving on to a different franchise today. Now, this franchise that we're going to start now, which you guys can see, Cora can't see it. This is... Cora, put the mirror down. Nothing until you can. This is actually one of her uncle's favorite movies of all time.
What?
And... Can you just sit normal?
Okay, fine. I just want to put some excitement.
This movie franchise is one of her uncle's favorites. He was the one that introduced me to this when I was a kid, because he was introduced to it by our mother and our stepfather. Well, my stepfather, his father. This does fit a lot of the things that Cora likes. I think it's rated PG-13, but I think it is R. I don't know. It's not a horror movie. It's a straight-up action, but there's definitely a lot of blood. Definitely a lot of gore. But there's also Cora's favorite things, explosions.
Yes!
So, she will get... So, we'll see how she reacts to this and if she likes it. We probably won't be doing the next two right away, because it is summer. So, this month we're kind of going to be hitting a lot of different targets. So, we will be doing all three of these movies. We'll probably do one a month. We'll do, like, number 1 today, number 2 July, some point. And then number 3 in August. Because there's a lot of other summer blockbusters, summer movies that I have planned out. If you want, check out our latest D&D news to see everything we're coming out with. So, alright, with that said, let's just jump right into the movie. You ready?
Yes, and I hope you have a good reaction to the trailer.
Yeah. And don't forget to say Happy Memorial... Oh, that was last week.
What?
Nothing.
All Detroit has a cancer. The cancer is crime. Or there will be trouble. You are under RoboCop.
Thank you for your cooperation.
Goodbye.
Alright, so we just finished watching RoboCop. So, Cora, what was this movie about?
Wow, this dude, cop, had an assistant, and they were fighting these bad guys. And the partner survived, but the actual cop didn't.
Murphy?
Yeah, Murphy. But Murphy, you might be thinking, oh, he's not the main target of this movie. He's not the main character because he died. Well, you're wrong. He actually survives as a robot.
And they brought him back as a robot.
He's still a robot.
Technically, not even a robot. He's a cyborg.
Yeah, because he is half human, half robot.
Yep.
But isn't he mostly a robot?
Mostly. But there's still some human components, and as long as there's some human parts, even if it's mostly cybernetics or machine, it's still a cyborg. It's not a full robot. A full robot would be a machine that has no... Like the Terminators. Which you thought this movie was at first. And it wasn't Terminator. Well, you haven't even watched Terminator yet.
I still watched the trailers.
Okay, but anyways, so what else happens?
So then we go ahead and see some clips.
Why are you scratching your upper lip?
It's itchy.
You're weird.
It's itchy, I'm telling the truth. Anyways. So we go ahead and see little clips of what the RoboCop sees. I was about to say Terminator, I'm sorry.
What was your favorite crime that RoboCop stopped?
Probably the end one because the dude said, "You're fired."
Oh, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when he starts with crimes. We saw him stop a grocery store robbery or a convenience store robbery. He stopped a woman from getting harassed by some guys.
That was probably my favorite one.
And then a hostage situation where he bashed his arms through the wall to get the bad guy.
I mean, I would like the lady one because, while, that was happening, the man, I know this is probably inappropriate, but I'm just gonna say nuts. The bad guy's nuts were right here, and the lady was, right next to them, we're not right next, but, close.
He shot through her dress to get the guys to shoot the guy in the lower parts.
Nuts.
Yes, in the nuts.
We say nuts.
Yes, shot his nuts off. Anyways, so then what happens?
After that, we go ahead and get a surprising scene. So he goes ahead to see flashbacks of his human self when he was living as a human. We go ahead and see...
He relives his death.
Yeah, he relives his death.
He had a dream.
It was a dream, even though I don't know how cyborg set dreams.
So then what does he do then?
He goes ahead, gets a random, and here's the cops.
Well, he starts going to track down his killers, right?
Yes, and he got, if I believe so, got it 2, and then got it the final one, which I guess I don't expect.
Anyways, then what happens? What do we learn about RoboCop?
Never messes RoboCop.
Well, no, he basically finds out that OCP was behind the bad guys, and that the main bad guy behind it all, he can't arrest him because of Directive 4.
Yeah, but anyways, back to the part that I was going to say, which was actually my favorite part. This dude, which is, I guess, a part of Directive 4, says, well, not Directive 4, but a part of the CEO, whatever it's called, says,
OCP?
OCP.
OCP.
OCP says you're fired, and that deletes,
Directive 4.
which goes ahead and allows RoboCop to kill, not arrest. But we see him get killed really liked that scene. So,
Did you like his comment? Thank you. And then he shoots.
Yeah, that's actually super funny. I wish we could play the scene. That's so you guys can get a laugh out of it too, but we don't want to get copyrighted.
Yeah. So you're saying if they haven't watched this movie and they made it this far in the review, they should definitely go check it out?
Yes, they should. And if you don't have the movie until you get enough money, go buy it.
So what'd you think of Ed 209?
The big dude?
Yeah, the big robot. The first RoboCop they tried to make.
I mean, I'll tell you the messed up that they did. They should have given them little feet. That's it. It's more easier if they go down steps. But with its normal big feet, we see it go ahead, go on one step, and then falls.
Yeah.
And then it goes ahead, heads on
And it
its
starts
head.
making pig squealy noises.
Yeah.
And it also growls at people. Did you notice when that guy was helping them show it off at the beginning? He held the gun out and then it made like a grrr sound.
Uh-huh.
You have 10 seconds to comply. But did you like Ed 209 or no?
I mean, it was a little bit weird and funny at the same time.
Yeah.
But
That thing always made me think of Star Wars.
But RoboCop was much more better. He was more funnier.
Yeah.
And he wasn't weird at all.
So, are you interested in seeing the other two movies in the RoboCop franchise?
Yes, I am!
And then maybe one day we'll do a remake month where you'll see the remake. Which, honestly, in my opinion, isn't as good.
And maybe we can do remake movies and watch all the remake movies. Just the idea.
Yep. We'll do RoboCop, Total Recall, Child's Play. Let's see what else do we have remakes of. It.
No!
I'm pretty sure we got some more remakes.
Okay.
Oh, Pet Cemetery.
Okay, but I better not watch the It one. And if
Well, we're gonna have to watch both.
don't you even know?
But honestly, in all honesty, and everybody can hear this right now, so it's on YouTube forever. I really just joke around with her about it. I'm never gonna make her really watch it until she's like 10 or 11. So she's got a couple years.
What?
Because I would like her to be the same age as those kids are in the movie. So when she watches it for the first time, I want her to be that same age. So that maybe if by some miracle she never watches it again, she could come back and visit it 28 years later. And once she sees it, she'll understand the reasoning behind that. But anyways, alright, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we will drop our final scores. See you in a minute. Bye.
Bye.
For thousands of years, the world has been protected by the Guardian of Light, or as he is more commonly known, Santa Claus. Over the centuries, factors such as fear and prejudice, greed and jealousy, misunderstandings, betrayal and war have segregated most humans from the magical world of elves, fairies, wizards, and the like. This has resulted in many misconceptions and generalizations of the true nature of Santa and his world.
This 6-book series by Sean Connaughton begins as the current of a long series of Guardians is murdered by a group of monstrous enemies recently escaped from an enchanted South Pole prison. These creatures are loyal to the darkness, an evil force determined to exterminate the light in order to enslave all creatures of the world.
Shane Connor, an average young man, suddenly finds himself being trained as the new Guardian. As he adapts to his new life among fantastic creatures, He goes on an adventurous quest with a legendary wizard for the ultimate weapon to use against the darkness, and faces murderous enemies like Rasputin, Morgana Le Fay, Krampus, and many more.
Along with his best friend, Joe Gomez, Shane encounters politics, history, mysterious murders, new loves, his own hidden past, and racial dynamics among the fantasy races that turn out to be all too real. Their adventures reveal the true nature of the world and challenge the current state of how all races interact.
This series expertly melds myths, legends, history, faiths, folklore, and secret societies into a fascinating, cohesive, comprehensive world of wonder and magic.
From Atlantis to Olympus, from Hades to the moon, and from broomstick races to Christmas deadlines, join the new Santa Claus on his amazing journey. But beware, will Shane's quest achieve his ultimate goal of destroying the darkness and preserving the light of the world? Or is he actually playing right into a plot by dark forces that will result in his, and our, ultimate doom?
So make your list and check it twice for the Guardian of Light book series. Download your audiobook or ebook today from Audible, Amazon, or iTunes.
All right, starting with me this time. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would have to give RoboCop, the first one, I'd give it a 10 out of 10. This is something I grew up with. My brother, Dennis, or Raymond, whatever you want to call him, he was the one that first introduced me to this, along with my stepdad. And I really enjoyed it. I was kind of shocked that my actual dad didn't care for it very much, but I enjoyed it. And I want to thank my brother for showing me this. This was always something I enjoyed watching. I have some thoughts on the others, but I'll get to that when we get to those movies. This first one is, though, a definite classic. I love the theme. The music for RoboCop is, like, epic. It just makes you feel so energized, like, yeah! And I get to enjoy, sharing this with my daughter now. And sharing it with you guys, too, so that's always a bonus. But yeah, that's going to be my view on it. Like I was saying, I don't know if I actually finished my thought earlier. The Ed 209 always made me feel like it was a big reminder of the AT-ST walkers from Return of the Jedi. So I felt like that was something that leftover thoughts from Star Wars, which is interesting. And I'm actually curious if they did think of it because of Star Wars, because they actually do bring up a satellite space station called the Star Wars platform in the movie, so way back at the beginning. But alright, let's move on to Cora. Cora, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate RoboCop?
I would give it a 10 out of 10, but I'll give it a 9 out of 10. The reason why is because of the first robot that we see, the
Ed 209?
Yeah, Ed 209. When it walks, the graphics on it are pretty bad.
It's dated not animatronics. I think it's like claymation. Basically, they had a model, and then they moved that model frame by frame, like how they do clay animation, like Nightmare Before Christmas.
Hello. I didn't interrupt you or you're saying your opinion.
I'm just letting you know how it was done.
Oh no, but that's why you had to cut in my line.
I didn't cut your line.
Yes, you
Everyone's hearing you talk right now.
Anyways, back to that same, and I really got it. Woody.
Are you broken?
No.
Do we need to take you apart and check for any loose wires?
That's your idea! Would we interrupt it? Sorry, I got stuck on the wall because I was trying to figure out what word said. Sorry that I do that.
Okay, come on.
Anyways, back to what I was saying. I mean, it looked pretty realistic to be clay modeled. And plus, RoboCop had to be clay modeled, but he moved it just fine.
That was
than
just a
this
suit.
robot. Yeah, he was suit.
No, that he was wearing just a suit. That was a practical suit he was in. But Ed 209, and I don't think it was actually a clay model. I think Ed 209 was just a model, meaning made of plastic and metal, and they just moved the parts and then took a picture, moved the parts again, took a picture, and then like a cartoon, they put all the pictures together real quick, so it looked like it was actually moving on its own.
Yeah, but like, even if it did that, it would have moved it just fine instead of like moving in like a clay model way, even though it was a clay model.
Okay. Anyways, so we're going to go ahead and wrap this up so this isn't a super long video. I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you have the chance, please consider checking out my book series, The Guardian of Light, which you saw an ad for. Book 6 will be coming out. I'm really hoping for a September release of that. I'm working hard to get it done. I know I said this a lot, but you know, it would mean the world to me to get some readers that actually want to read this book. And everybody I've had check out my book series, most people tend to like it. Unless you're just not really into modern day type fantasy, or you really can't get over certain aspects of what the story is about. I've had most people tell me though that they can't put it down once they start. Once they really get into it. So, alright. I want to thank you so much for watching. If you don't pick up the book, at least consider subscribing to the channel. It helps us give away free digital codes to our audience in a first come, first served basis. And we're working up to 130 now. So, we just recently passed 120. And we want to give away codes. So, if you want a code, if you like movies, this is a channel for you. Please hit that subscribe button and make sure you click the notification bell so you are notified the second a new video is up. Just in case there's a code in there. Sometimes I put in random codes.
We watch more movies and play more video games.
Yeah, we also do live streaming, so there's always something on the channel. Well, but with that said, we're going to go ahead and see you all in the next episode. Bye.
I buy that for $1.